All right, guys, Warrior Junior here. We're gonna, yeah. So the title of this one is about holding your ground, holding your frame. I'm gonna talk about, I got a good friend that is irrelevant to his name, but he said, "You be careful what you say. Be careful what you say when you go live. Be careful. Be careful. Everything about being careful in life. You be careful. You're gonna start thinking." You're going to start thinking and you're going to sabotage yourself. Be careful. And I said, look, I told him, I said, I could delete anything. He said, well, somebody could record it. You know, I don't have to be careful. If I'm speaking from my heart about my own challenges, what's there to be careful about? Well, what am I scared of? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? It says you could say something stupid. Everything I say to some people is stupid to them. It's their own opinions. They're criticizing you. They're so you he's being. I mean, the guy's not making any sense. He's not. And the problem with that is that he doesn't. It doesn't apply to him. Some of my friends, again, I don't get it. They're good people, but this is completely irrelevant. The pickup thing. Now I'm going to talk about. And it's really important to understand because when you go back and you listen to some of my what I've been talking about, doing the approaches and going up to some of these incredible like nines and tens, whatever, and they're with other guys or with the groups, is that you're going to get killed. They're going to fucking want to kick your ass or whatever. Oh, look, I'm trying to make this understanding here. No more than a couple times a day. This is not like PUA pickup artists where these guys they see everything, they move in, and like it doesn't matter. Like it's okay, I understand that. That's good for them. But again, I said very, very, very selective for people like me that are not brand new to doing this. It's like this is there's like levels of progression when it comes to doing this, trying to to talk to get those women, the really, really good ones. And a lot of P ways, okay, their thing is different. They're gonna go, well, volume, volume. Okay, so I talk to 100 decent looking women. I get 10 phone numbers. Out of those 10 phone numbers, I'm gonna get 3 dates, and out of the 3 dates, I'm probably gonna get laid twice. So they're playing the numbers game. The numbers game. I said, okay, well, there's I get that. I get that, but I don't need that because I'm already beyond anything that's kind of like okay, that's our no, like I want the really, really good. Now I don't today. Sometimes I second guess myself, and this is where a problem herein lies because you know it's like, okay, well, it's an 8.5 or not. It's like those ones I see, like the really. Now if I see something that really gets me excited, I don't have to think. I already know. It's just you go in, go for it. But some of these women that are like they're all right, and then they dress really good on top of that, so it's like a questionable thing. Now the thing was, like, tonight was a very busy night on the boulevard because I guess people are going back out now because of COVID and the weekends coming in, and so people are going out now. But the thing is that, huh, I think about every time. The only thing I think about when I do an approach is that if I get in there, there's a potential for altercation. And so I really save. This is what separates. I save my energy for what I really, really like. So no more than like three in a day. I mean, you're doing any more than that, I mean, more than likely, I'm not going to see those women that really get me crazy excited. I'm not going to see more than three in one day anyway. On the average, one to two a day I'll see, and I think that's enough. Like because it's not. it's not game. You know, you're just it is, but it's not. Like I watched a guy tonight. I watched him. You know, it's kind of, he tried generic pickup. He was going solo, and you know, doing the nice touching with the one, not ignoring the other girl touching. You know, he was doing all that shit. I don't even he didn't get a number. I think he was just practicing or something. And when he walked away, I even said he walked by. I go, hey, dude, you got where's your wing? You know, like he knew what I was talking about. You know, he didn't want to talk to him. It was irrelevant. Those women were decent. They were like in my mind close to eights. You know, but not the 9, 10, not the beyond extraordinary, not the ones that I have to go. I have to go for it. Um, Okay, so let me talk about the subject, holding your ground and holding your frame. you know, I thought about this, when I was walking around, and I'm glad I could have recorded, but I was like, let me just talk about it recording. Situations. I want to talk about what I would call the ultimate challenge. And I'm not making reference to WrestleMania 6, it's Toronto Ultimate Warriors Hogan. And, that's why I call it Warrior Junior, because it's a tribute to the Ultimate Warrior. If you listen to his stuff, where he talks, very powerful. God rest his soul in peace. Good man. I met him when I was a kid, and he was out here in L.A. like 10 or 15 years ago. I God, wish I would have met him, gone there, and really told him who I was. Maybe he could have been my mentor or something. But his recordings live forever, and that's why I'm doing this, because you never know when you go. Like I'm close to 50. I'm kind of an intense guy myself. Um, you never know. You could have a heart attack anytime. That'd be it. Try to put the odds in my favor by eating good foods, exercising. But it's still, my dad died of heart related in his 30s, smoking. So you don't know. You don't know. So why not, like, while you live while you're alive, be live and do this? Um, so I went over, yeah, like the Poppy place. It was very hopping. You can't get in. It stood outside for a minute, and you know, they're young, but there was nothing. There was nothing beyond extraordinary. There was nothing for me to move. And then there's this one woman. This woman walked by me. I moved out of the way so they could go. Apparently, this giant security guard or with them. This black guy was fucking. He wasn't built, but he was big. Now I have a friend. He's like 6'7", 4 some, close to 500 pounds. He's good size. This black guy was like wider, 600, I think. And I said to myself, I thought about this. He was a security for those women. Now I didn't even ask me to move because this guy took up the whole sidewalk. Like I moved for the woman to go by. I got a decent look at her. She was all right, dressed up, but it wasn't beyond extraordinary for me to try. Now, here's the ultimate challenge. If I would have, if she would have been really what I liked, a 600-pound guy, right? I mean, 99.999% of the men on the planet are taking a step back. They're getting the hell out of there. The guy, he's huge, but the warrior doesn't. The warrior doesn't take a step back, and neither does Warrior Junior. Um, I'm not trying to analyze what would have happened. It seemed like Now I think about this, and it's like in a way I'm just happy she wasn't good, because I'm saying to myself, oh my God, like think about this. What it, Zahura said this in Star Trek 2, I think, to he's a fucking guy. He was a ensign. Forget the actor's name, Ted McGinley or something, and Ahura goes, "Be careful what you wish for. You might just get it." Like it's true, but it's said in a negative kind of like tone of that's when Star Trek 3. I'm sorry. That's when like Kirk McCoy and Sulu and Scotty, they were stealing the Enterprise from space dock. to go to try to search for Spock. You know, that was the whole thing to go to Genesis. And when they went through, you know, they needed to go to the transporter room, and that guy goes, "Oh God, you know, it's Kirk. What the hell?" And he just was trying to challenge, and Nora goes, well, "You're gonna sit in the closet," you know, like he goes, "What?" He goes, yeah, she pulled out the phaser, you know, and he went in there. I bring that up because it's like, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. And I thought about this, and I said, "Well, God, what if that woman wasn't my what I really wanted?" You know, you got 600 pounds, a giant guy, you know, that you're gonna have to engage or whatever. And I was like, well, think about this. You know, that guy. I have a friend, and he's big, and it's. I could just tell like that guy that was walking, he was not happy. Like you know, he was just. It was a struggle. It was a real struggle for him to move. Like he's just using size there, and somebody. It doesn't matter. Like if it, God, you know, like I'm not even thinking fights and stuff, but you know somebody small, it doesn't matter like you know how fast somebody can just you know move in. You could that guy would be hamburger, you know, but from a somebody that can defend themselves fight, you know, it wouldn't even be close. But again, you know, look, I'm not even going to talk about. It's not about that. You don't want to get into physical altercations. Now, okay, let's give another example. What if like In and Out Burger, right? I remember like sometimes on the weekends on the night, it's like these not, I don't know if they're gangs or what the hell, but I saw like this big group, this Mexican, you know, Hispanics with these with their cars and the motorcycles and all their you know souped up cars, and they go and they eat there. And what if there's like this is a preferred script. I mean, you can't. I don't. It's my mind. My mind comes up with these things. What if like there's that one Latina chick in there, and she's just like, you know, the warrior mentality is to go in there. I mean, I know what everybody's thinking if they're gonna listen to this. God, I hope this lasts forever because I can't. It's like a recipe for suicide. You're thinking like, what if they're all like these guys? They'll kill you. I mean, they the whole. You know, you see, the thing is, the reason that I know, the warrior has to go in, has to, you know, and I think about this, and I say these guys, you know, if they don't, if you if you wind up ever breathing fresh air ever again after that a situation like that, you know, but you know, I think about this, and I'm saying to myself, well, the reason I'm so like intense to do this, you know, I'm hoping this is something that I could kind of get out of my system, you know, like just you know, like show a little bit of success, and then I could water it down. I could water it down a little so you don't have to, you know, you don't have to put your life in jeopardy, like with something like that, you know, like, you know, now you can also put the reverse coin on it and flip it over and say, hey, okay, well, what if you did go in there, a group of like these fucking tough cholos or whatever, and you try, and they go, you got a lot of cojones, amigo. You know, you try. This is good. You know, like you give you respect, give you respect for you trying. You know, like because they know you coming up there. You, you know, they're giving you respect. I mean, that's like so. In a way, it's like I think about that too. Most people don't think that. They're thinking, no, I can't. Um, I'm going to, when I say that's why you got to hold your frame. Now, you know, with everything. Now, the thing is, I didn't hold my frame a couple nights ago, which was fucked up. Now, when I talk about holding the frame, I meant not yeah, yeah, engaging the dudes, you know, like with the asteroids, fucking people, you know, the guys wasting energy on them. You know, you're engaging these dudes, like your ego is hmm, you're I don't know if it's a natural human instinct when your guys challenge you. Like, I don't know who said that. This is, well, a man stands up for himself. I don't know. It's an old school term. You could look at movies. I'm gonna make a reference. It was a Back to the Future. That one. I know movies aren't real life, but you know, that's the fucking problem. It's the problem. The Marty McFly, and the whole thing, and the Michael J. Fox thing, and stand up to Biff, stand up for Lorraine, for the woman. What do you say, Marty? Like, and the whole thing. It's like, I know there's truth in movies, in real life. You're not supposed to let, the Biff take the girl. Like, that's the that's so cliche that it's been done in so many films that the whole idea is like he's the McFly. It's so stupid. Come on. And then remember, if you see the movie at the end, he gets that lucky shot in when she tries. Biff's like trying to fucking rape his girlfriend Lorraine in the back seat of the car, and then he calls it out. And the fucking he gets fucking Marty McFly knocks him out and takes the woman. It's you think in real life. I mean, somebody like a wimpy kind of guy that hasn't been training like or any. Now, is it like anything's possible? But you're talking. Come on, it's like a reality, nonsensical thing. Like that guy, that Biff guy. If you saw him, he's good size. He's strong. He probably could take a shot or two. And in real life, fighting is not like the movies. It's so stupid. They show the westerns. The chairs going in. These guys, they take a shot. There's so many movies where like these fights last for it's like so exciting to watch. Choreographed. The Wing Chun. Like the Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan. It's like, it's so exciting. These guys are going. I mean, it's almost like dancing. Like John Travolta or something in Saturday Night Fever. Like, wow, look at this guy go. I mean, so, but it's a movie. It's not that now the dancing. Okay, all right. Like I get that. I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but it's worth the mention, and I'll tell you what you're going to see why because it goes all the way around back to this that it relates to the subject here. You know, my friend had told me watch what you say. Again, good guy and everything. But again, he doesn't relate. He doesn't understand. Now he told me he goes, well, why don't you take karate? Why don't you just go sign up and take karate? And I said I tried. I was going to explain to him. You meet women there, something too. And okay, good points, good points. But let me explain to you why that I don't take karate. Now I took Shotokan karate when I was like a kid. I was almost made to the kata, the yellow belt. That's like where you do the test and you get the belt, and then you work your way up and everything like that. I stopped right before the kata, but it's amazing. Like when you're young, I know these chess masters get into it, and it becomes automatic for them. Now it's automatic in my mind, all the Shotokan moves. But here's the problem: they're not. There's a difference between karate and all these other different types of martial arts and all these other different types. It's not generic boxing, not kickboxing, and judo. I mean, there's so many things that Wing Chun, Kung Fu, all these different types of self-defense. And then there's street fighting, and there's grappling. So all this kind of stuff. The problem with karate, it's one form. Now, and again, it's kind of like no, how do I say it without disrespecting it? Because there's some great like roundhouse, it's great kicks and kind of things, but it's kind of just too. I seen the moves like this block kind of thing. Like okay, if somebody punches you like this, but you know, with respect to Shotokan, okay, it would be like saying like if you're a dancer, like really good at like just one very specific part of dance. If you're a freestyle dancer, if you're a freestyle dancer, you're supposed to be able to do just about anything. Like I can't do, I'm not a ballet, but I could do shit like Fred Astaire, kind of like Michael Jackson, disco, popping, locking, boogaloo, funk, even the gangster kind of skipping, sea walking, transition. Just lots of shit. Just move to groove, like a lot of different styles, but they're based on a foundation of like funk and stuff. But it's my point is that it's not saying, oh, I just know karate. That would just be saying I could do some disco moves really well. What happens when the music changes and you're still doing disco? Now, so my point is that, if you just know basic karate, and somebody comes at you like, and it's like, just that's it. Um, it's not enough. It's not going to be enough. I can almost assure you, unless you're like way up there, black belt or degrees of it, to where like you mastered it so strong, where you can kind of expand on other forms. I'm thinking it's good to have like a little bit of everything. I think like because I noticed like that Wing Chun, everything is like real close, boom boom boom. When hands are there. And then I watched this guy was it Fight Science. He's saying someone comes at you, how to, take their arm and turn it. I'm like, wow, okay. Open mind. A lot of different styles, lots of different styles, like my dancing. I started with like Michael Jackson kind of style. It's all I was trying to do is emulate Michael Jackson. But then I wanted to figure out, I said, well, who taught him? And then I learned about the electric boogaloos. I learned about Freddie Runberry, the art of shabadoo, art of locking and popping, the difference between kicking, all these kind of things. Like a whole thing, all these guys from Flat Top, incredible OGs. I was around kind of at the right time in the 90s. Then I expanded. So when the music changes, doesn't matter what kind of music. And I played 70s. I do a different type of disco funk. I do locking, popping, a disco, just a kind of John Travolta kind of stuff. It's all automatic for me. It's all automatic. I stay within my parameters because I'm getting kind of older, wear and tear and everything. But it doesn't matter what song they play. I dance to fucking anything of anything, and it looks like I'm like a professional choreographed dancer. I never took a class. I don't care if they put any Britney Spears or anything. I seen like video one time, and then I say, oh, okay, so I'm just gonna fucking do whatever I think, looks kind of cool, like with it. People come on, you professional dancer? I go, no. And it's like the same thing when I'm in the gym and a heavy bag. I'm starting to like just experiment on stuff like fucking chop, things, punching, kicking, like defense, just moving everything around. And I told you about the rings kind of thing. I throw it and just move my head, move out of the way. And then when the ring comes back, move, go look around. And then they got like two heavy bags next to each other. So what I do is like I'll try punching one bag and I kick the one that like not really roundhouse but side kick. I'm getting better at it. I'm hitting it solid. So it's like it's like all right. I mean, feels like I'm making an impact. And I learned this on Fight Science when you punch because it's gonna like your knuckles are gonna get like I wear gloves, workout gloves like the Harbingers. But so what I'll do is on toward the top of the bag, sometimes I'll unload a little bit, I'll ease up, and then I'll just do like taps. Bah, and I'll try to grab the bag, like thinking about if a guy's like if I have to fucking like grab a dude, and get my knee up or something, and pretending like so it's like what I'm doing all of this is I never want to have to hit anybody. I never want to, but you just want to build confidence in your mind that God forbid, you get into it because I'm just so used to being scared. Who wants to get into a fight? It's the stupidest thing ever. That these guys that are doing this kind of stuff in UFC, they're professional. Different thing. You standing outside of a nightclub or a bar, like, and you're trying to meet a woman or whatever, and the guy wants to beat you up for trying. It's a caveman. It's a stupid. It's a dumb fucking way of thinking. And it's an amazing thing because we're in the 21st century and still people think that way. They want to get you out of there. They want to hurt you for just trying something. They think they own it like it's theirs. Like I'm sort of involved in a relationship. Like she. Yeah, it's hard to talk about because she's, you know, it's just not. We'll do it some other. We'll talk about that another time. But I'll make a point though. If I was with her and some dude like, let's say Warrior, like a number two, or somebody like me, this is what you like. Move in, move in. Go ahead and fucking try. I wouldn't. You know what? I would. I mean, I would say, be my guest. And if she gives him the number, great. Okay. I don't own her. Even if I was fucking married, I'm not my mind. I'm not, scared because she's good looking. Go ahead, try. And so you wouldn't get an altercation. The guy would probably feel better, walk away knowing he tried, and life would go on. But for some reason, it doesn't work that way. I have seen there are some dudes that are they're they'll like laugh, like if it, with my attempt, like, and that's they're like, take my wife please, like, that's funny, that's kind of cute, but um for the most part, guys are, no, they're very, it's like, mine, mine, she's mine, like, it's, but they're mine, like, I'll kill you, like, it's so stupid. Like, I really have a chance or something, like, God, give back. Like, you were there once, you go back far enough, you took a chance too. Maybe a friend introduced you or something. You got to be lucky. I don't have people like that are gonna do that for me. Go get them. You know what? I fuck you. I don't need to get anything. You know, it's a your people criticize without helping, so they can go fuck themselves. These people. They I like, people that tell you what to do. Like, they tell, they fucking, they just, they're not helping. They're not trying to help. What they're trying to do is just fucking, you know act like they're smart, but they're assholes, and get you out of there. Not try to give back or help or fucking do anything. And I make a joke about it. I said, if I was with my girlfriend, and and some guy like me went ahead and got in there, I'm not gonna fucking nine, not, no, no. There's not that many dudes, number one, that have the balls to go in there and try. Okay, number one, because they're not, they're because they're assuming in their mind, they're thinking, well, they're together, I got no chance anyway. Or if the guy's really drunk, he doesn't care, or I mean, I don't know what to say. It's you've got it's I hate to say it, but you can categorize people into certain groups. There's people that do this, and there's people that do that, and then there's these people. There's a small group that will do this, and then in the pickup artists, there's like a group of them that do it this way, and then there's me. Like, there's me. Now, it's the problem. Like, today, when I was going to the market, I saw something that was a borderline. It was not bad. She was really, really nice dress. It was really good. And I was saying to myself, fuck, the market closes at 12. It's like 11 something. I got to get to the market. My food, like, you don't get that. Market's closed, and you spent trying to talk to Wayne. What the fuck? I can't get to the market. Yeah, that's like my priority. But and she was a borderline thing. Now, I could have tried to do it really fast, but I had a bad feeling. I said, because it's on the sidewalk, very crowded. Could be a possible altercation. It's like, I always try to think of worst case scenarios. Like, God, like, I think it's always good to do things that way. To think about, okay, What's the worst thing that could happen? I mentioned the 600-pound guy. I mentioned a gang of Mexican, Hispanic guys. Like it's so. I mean, can you think of anything worse? I mean, I don't know. I don't try to think about things. The whole idea is to try to get a little bit of success so that you can possibly water it down where you don't have to be so because you know I'm going to tell you honestly, yeah, you go out there and some guy's gonna, not gonna take this jokingly or lightly. He's gonna fucking want to throw down on you to defend his woman, and that's the reason. That's the reason I say that if you do this selectively, just if not a couple times, if you see like something that really is your type. I mean, if you're like me, it's like I am like kind of like an all or nothing kind of guy. Um, the girl that I the girlfriend, I don't know, if we call it that, she was fucked up and she was sitting on the stoop by this pump or whatever, and I was in the area and I was kind of back then I wasn't really like warrior, I was like more like PUA kind of thing, and she just like she took a look at me, she was sitting and it kind of just clicked, bang, she just put her arm around me and we just hit it off automatic. She was like a year older than me or something, and she's nice. She's nice, but you know, me the way that I'm wired, kind of sexually, it's I like more variety, and really more incredible. The women that most guys kind of would get a shock out of, and she's just it's not that, she's strong, she's good, but I'm kind of jaded, the way that because of what I watched and the way that I think. Um, I think it's also lack of experience. A lot of women don't respect even that stupid movie. I know I keep going back to that 40-year-old virgin. I know I talk about that, but they don't respect dudes with no experience. And that's a fucking sad. In the movies, that it's commendable. It's commendable in the movies. That wow, they all want to. The old women want to fuck that character. I don't know if Steve Carell played. I forget the guy's name, and it doesn't matter. But you remember the woman that she's working there in the electronics store or something? I would, yeah. Look, that's not reality. That's not reality, okay? And that's the problem is that, and because they don't respect it. If you're a dude that doesn't have any many success with women, then there's a reason why. It's because you haven't had. It's like It's like, you think you're gonna play in the major leagues without being a talented baseball player? I mean, it's like think about that. It's the same analogy. You're not. These guys, they're groomed in the minor. They call it the farm system for a reason. They're brought up. If they're really talented prospects, they're brought up. Mike Trout or something. They're fucking talented. They're the best, the absolute best in the world at what they do, and they get paid accordingly to hit a stupid baseball. And that's the way it is. Now, it's kind of funny because like if you're a man and you're like a whore, it's like you're fucking all these women all the time. Like you would think, wow, the women wouldn't want something like that. But that guy that's sleeping with all these women, he's got a shitload of experience. So he has power. He has power, like, and that's the thing. And amazingly, he's respected. That's the dumbest thing of all. Like it's like reversed. Now if a woman sleeps around with all these guys, she's a whore. Like oh god, she's a floozy. She's a Debbie Dallas. She's a Jezebel. Whatever. Who wants a loosey goosey? It was coming to me. It was coming to me. But in a guy, so I mean, think about like everybody knows Charlie Sheen. Like in the Two and a Half Men, and he's like womanizer and he's drinking and he's like and that nerd that brother Alan, he's like really kind of wimpy and everything like that, and he settled for the Judith, like a homely person, and the kid, the fat kid Jake and whatever, and it's like I think the reason they called it Two and a Half Men is because as the kid got older and the Charlie Sheen, those are the men, and the Alan is the half a man. You know, it's the two and a half men. It's actually like a joke on, you know, it's not what you think. It's like, oh, you think the kid is the half a man. No, no, no. It's the Alan is the half a man because it's like, you know, he's like a pussy, you know, like you want. And if you know, if you watch the character, you understand. You'll come to you like, you know, the Jake is trying to go out with win. You know, he's trying to become a man. So I think that maybe the show started off the way like, oh, two and a half men, but it's really about, you know, like, Uncle Charlie, teach me to be a real man because my dad is not a real man. He's a half a man. So I wonder if I ever talked to Chuck Lorre, you know, if I ever got to meet him, I would love to get his take on that, you know, to find out if he was thinking, you know, like if it's, believe me, these guys are very smart. Um, and excellent writing on that show too. Don't want to get off topic too much, but okay. So my point was that, you know, like Charlie Sheen, you know, he's like a whatever philanderer, you know, with the women, you know, he's every, and you see all these different women and everything like that. And you know, like Berta, she's funny. She goes, "Oh, Charlie, can't keep your hands off me, can you?" You know, and the Berta's daughter, you know, was it Megan Fox or something, or the granddaughter? It's like super hot. You know, I mean, I know, it's just so, you know, but there is truth. There is truth when he goes like about the 1500, the GFE. You know, like they use. There's a lot of realism, and I guarantee Charlie Sheen's probably like, you know, in real life similar. Like that's why that character flows for him so well because, you know, it's kind of like him, just scripted, but the script is based around him. That's why the show fell apart when he left, and he wanted like to be the highest paid, and he should have been. There should have been no question because, you know, that's, you have to give him. It's like I think it was Mel Gibson. I think they want to do Lethal Weapon 3 or 4, and they said, you know, I'm not doing it unless you give me like 30 million or something. And the studios were like, fuck, we got to make this movie. What do we do? This is the whole thing. And so if we don't pay him, we're gonna be in deep shit here, you know. And so they paid him. Um, and you know, I guess when you've got a franchise and you're saying, look, we know it's gonna make this, 30 million is 30 million, but you know, you got your thing. It was like, I think Harrison Ford was the same way with Force Awakens. But again, let's not get off. We're all going way off topic. I'm saying that to myself. So um, stay focused. Stay focused. Holding the frame, holding your ground. I know that's the title of this whole thing, and I think I really related when I said hold your ground. What I mean is that be very careful not to go back, you know, to that way that you did things before. It's so easy to give up with this. It's so easy because, you know, I told you guys what happened to me at EPLPs, and I'm like traumatized. I was, you know, all these dudes like gangbusters on me. Like they didn't physically grab me, but you don't have to physically hurt, you know, punch somebody for them to be traumatized. You know, you can, believe me, people can. I mean, I'm human too. They can break your spirit. They can. Jesus, I mean, it wasn't just one time. It was like a couple times. They just wanted me out of there. So that girl, like, she was in such a bad mood, and for some reason she chose me. Like I'm just standing there, like I'm not. You know, what are you looking at? I was looking at everybody. I just, why didn't you say that? Well, no, because you have to stand up for yourself. Well, you created a confrontation. You have to stand up for yourself in every facet and endeavor in life. You're creating a problem. Am I creating a problem or am I standing up for myself? Again, I told you before, if somebody calls you names or something, you let it go over your head or whatever. beyond. Like Wayne Dyer, he talked about this. The put downs don't mean anything. Even the compliments don't mean anything. So he said, if somebody says something nice about him, he goes, "Oh, okay, that's good." Somebody said, "Put down your fucking," that's good too. You know, how can you agitate somebody like that? You can't. Their frame is too strong. I called this guy every name under the book. Look, even if the lowest thing, I'm trying to think of the lowest thing that somebody would try, because no one's creative enough. They're not creative enough to understand that what gets me up, like what got me going. That what are you looking at? I guarantee they weren't trying to get a rise. They weren't expecting my answer. There's no fucking way, because the answer sparked the fire. Like they couldn't believe. Like they're, the shock and awe of what are you looking at? Whatever I want. The fucking, when was the last time somebody would say something like that? The girl went back to the fucking guys, and they're, I don't know, like she must have said, I can't believe, and the guys were like, really? The go get him, like, gotta get this guy out of here. We gotta fucking, they all came after me. They all came after me just for holding my ground like that. Now I think about, I told you this. I've heard of every low ball one, because I'm like kind of 5'9", balding, Jewish, but I don't care. Even if they said, nuts, if I was a nut, you could even go, look. I was raised by my grandparents were survivors. Like I wouldn't even take that, even if they tried the lowest of the lowest thing. You should have died in the country. I mean, I'm telling you, man. I mean, there's people, they can try to go as low below the belt as possible. It's not going to agitate me. My frame is too strong. You can't. You can't. And they can't understand why. It's like I'm trying to get a rise out of this guy, and I can't piss him off. What is he, a robot or something? How come I can't piss him off? Because I'm a fucking, I am too mentally strong for you. I've studied too much. I've read too much. I've watched too much. I know you can't get a rise out of me. There's no fucking way. Meanwhile, I could get a rise just about it. It seems like I could I could rile anybody up, like I fucking control them or something. That does nothing for me, by the way. Pissing somebody off does nothing for me. It doesn't help me get the women I'm attracted to. It doesn't do anything. Just shows I have power in that way over them. And it's an amazing fucking thing. I mean, it's amazing they don't teach this in school. That people like say how to keep from, like me dominating you. Like I could fucking control your mind. Think about that. If I can agitate you, I can control your mind in a way. That's like power. I mean, that's like saying I could basically command you. Like I can make you do what I think. Like I can make you angry. Like think about that. Think about, like, it's all like, it would be like me saying, almost like, it was it. Remember in Star Wars in Episode 4, it'll be, you don't need to see his identification. We don't need to see his identification. These aren't the droids you're looking for. These aren't the droids we're looking for. They can go about their business. They can go about their business. Move along. Move along. Move along. Like you're commanding. You're basically doing the same. See how ridiculous that sounds? That I can get in there, and I can control your fucking mind because I'm a fucking Jedi master. Like it sounds ridiculous. But this is exactly what pissing somebody off is. It's the same thing. I'm doing the same thing with, now you should, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's close. It's as close, and it's a reality. It's not a movie. It's not a nonsense. Is there a Death Star going around that I don't know about? I look outside. I'm looking for it. I don't know. Is it a cantina like where the you know it's in a way Star Wars there's so much truth in it. I mean, there's so much fucking truth in it. But of course, we all know there's no such thing. The Darth Vader, the whole thing. But again, I'm going off topic. But the power you have, unfortunate, the negative kind of power. Now, you can go the other way and say, look at if you're a high powered status celebrity, or something like that. You have basically a similar force without words because people see you on the television and they go, oh shit, that's so and so or whatever. It's like respect because of the being recorded and being, a signal goes to the satellite and then it's broadcast down to like millions and millions of households, and basically everybody knows who you are or your image, but they really don't know who you are as a person. They know a character. So it's like a blessing and a curse in a way. It's like, wow, okay, so I get like respect wherever I go. I have money, but nobody really knows who I am as a person, but they know my character. And I basically am imprisoned in that. Like you don't have a choice. It's I mean, like Mark Hamill said, or Carrie Fisher, God rest her soul. I'm Princess Leia and you're Luke Skywalker, and that was it. Like that's it. Like he didn't matter. He did Joker. He did voices. The real fans, the hardcore fans, know Mark Hamill and everything. But here, everywhere he goes, it's like, hey, Luke Skywalker. I, I played that character for a couple of movies, even with the new ones. But I'm not a Jedi Master. I don't have like I'm not. There's I'm not taking on the Vader and Return of the Jedi. I didn't just do that like in one night. So in a way, think about this. It can be an incredible curse. It can be an incredible curse. Meanwhile, you've got so many fucking people they would wish to have that incredible curse. Me included, in a way, without trying so hard, like without. I thought dancing for so many years. I can't believe that I was in it for so long, and it didn't really. But look, how many people did make? How many did? Everybody, go up to the average person, ask them, and go. I know I'm getting off topic, but I just like to get some of this stuff out. It makes me clear my mind for the direction that we're going to be going in, and it helps for you to know how I feel about my life. What I did or didn't do. Um, dancing is like think about the energy output. It's like to be able to hit those moves, precision and everything. It's like, and then if you're not an actor, fuck, nobody knows who danced behind Britney Spears or Jennifer Lopez. Everybody knows them. Everybody knows that, now if they dancer, they go Fred Astaire. And Fred Astaire, talking about like 40, 50 years ago. And then he died, what, 30 years? I don't know. Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, talking about the tap dancing thing. I know I do all that stuff too, but, it's like those guys were actors. They're actors first. Yeah, that can dance. Yeah. Was like Savion Glover, that guy, the great tap dancer and stuff, did it with the dreadlocks and everything. People know him from like the Oscars and stuff. I think I saw him at Rite Aid one time. He was doing a little bit of practice, like staying in step, I guess. But dancers, how many dancers, you could look up Guinness World of Records. What was it? The Lord of the Dance, Michael Flattery. It's like only make $1 million like from that claw, that Irish jig or whatever. That doesn't matter. But my point is, like, I thought like I was gonna build like a big career after this, because I thought, okay, I'm an audience participation dancer on Soul Train, and then, well, go back before that in the '90s, but I don't even want to talk about it. It's irrelevant. But I went like from almost getting in the line there, but I was on the video, so I was dancing on television. the contest before that, but still not really television, to at 29 years old, the dance fever. That was, I thought, the highlight of my life. I really did. Um, I was so excited when I was flown to Vegas and compete for 100,000. I really thought, and it's me, Kid Illusion. I was like, just get that airtime. ABC Family, cover of TV Guide. It was a big, big deal before YouTube, and I thought, and I wasn't on the cover. Judges were on the cover, but I was a featured semifinalist. 100,000 back in 2003. That was a big prize. I think Star Search was more, but I remember talking with somebody on Star Search, the casting producer, and he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do if we can get you on there?" I was like, "Well, I'm gonna do some popping." He's like, "That's it?" And I said, "Just didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to get that chance." Um, and then at 31 years old, I saw You Think You Can Dance. That was, probably most people saw me on that, but didn't go anywhere from there. I didn't get headshots, resume, and I was too old for the show. But I got decent airtime. I was too old to be on the show, but I went against the rules. People were complaining on the internet, 18 to 30, oh, I can dance. I was 31. I went down there. I waited in line like everybody else. And I managed. I don't need to explain. It doesn't matter. I persevered and I made it. I got airtime on the show. I just didn't get to dance on the show. They kept my footage because of my uniqueness. That's what this is. That's what I'm doing. This is uniqueness. Going up to women with other guys that you find attractive and hitting on them? Who fucking does that? There's a reason why. Because you're challenging societal norms. Just like I challenged the age criteria for the show by going down there and doing some things that were a little, but it worked. Now I've tried to audition for many other shows. They wouldn't take me. Believe me, I could spend plenty of time talking about trying to, and then also with my dance movie that I wrote, I could get into all these things. I could talk about, I'll do one video where I kind of just talk about my life, even though this was all turned into this now, but I'm talking about highlights and the lowlights and the frustration of chasing your dreams and having very little to show for it. I mean, so many people have told me, they go, but Mike, you did try, you did go after it. So many people did that. And I said, okay, well, I get that, but I'm not so many people, I felt like I was this guy that, stuck his neck out there in life. I gotta be honest with you, this warrior thing, I am a little concerned, because, you could get, you're really asking, it's like, you think you're like, come on, kick my ass, but that's not what I'm asking for. I'm challenging societal norms, and it's not going to be well received. I'm hoping, like I said, I know I keep going back to this. I'm putting emphasis on it because it's important. I'm hoping to get just a little bit of success from this, and then water it down to where you're not going to challenge, that you can. They say pick and choose your fights. And again, I'm not looking for a fight. And it's ironic in a way they're looking for me. Like they're like, how do you that is that rational? Is that rational? Like, even if a guy, okay, let's get on the focus about holding your, trying. I see a woman, like a really hot one with a guy or a couple guys or a group of girls, and in I go. And guy's like, what are you fucking doing, man? And I said, well, what do you mean? I'm trying to talk to this nice lady. Can't you see? She's with me. And I go, well, I didn't notice you. You're nothing to notice. You're nothing to notice. I mean, I told you, I could, and that's being really nice. I could fucking really, I said, I don't understand. Like, what do you don't understand? Don't you see? She's right there with me. And I said, well, I don't understand why this beautiful woman right here is with somebody like you. You're you're not a nice person. I mean, when I'll kill you, like I'm gonna kill you, I mean, so I'm giving an example, like of it's something I know, something like that, get fuck out of here, bro, and then the girl's holding him back and everything. Oh yeah, yeah, I I mean, can you imagine like if we go back, as they go back, let's go all the way back to the caveman days. I mean, basically it was simple, okay, men see woman, clumping over the, and then they take them away, and the biggest, whoever could pick up the, I'm laughing, but it's probably true. Whoever could pick up the strongest guy, I mean, he, he gets to pick up the biggest boulder to fucking kill you, it's like, get you out of there. I know I'm laughing, but it's sad. Like survival of the fittest. I mean, literally, like if the strongest back then, like whoever was the physically strongest, it fucking just kill you and take the woman is the on prize, on prize, the prize for free. Like she didn't have a choice, like what's she gonna do? You're a mean man. No, back in the caveman days, the dude, the guy got the food, because he's like the strongest or whatever, and the guy, the twerp and stuff, he's dead. He's like, it's a fucking. You think, I guess, even if the twerp would look at the girl, the guy, that fucking caveman man, he's just, it's like more ape like mind, Neanderthal. It's not Neanderthal. People don't know. It's Neanderthal. It's actually, look at us, it's pronounced that way. But can you imagine, like Cro-Magnon man, the little guy, like he sees the woman, he's like, and the fucking big guy goes, I'm gonna kill you. And, it's sad that little guy had to fucking get the fuck out of run for his life, get the fuck out of there because that guy, the big, he get one and fucking tear his head off, just for looking. So I guess maybe if you think about modern times in a way, that's kind of the truth. Like that that's outlasted. Like there's still cockroaches on the planet. They survived. Well, maybe part of like the brain, that part of like the inside the brain of the caveman times. They kill you, but it's civilized. It's a civilized time, but it's not as civilized. That's in that brain somewhere. The guy is like, they see me, the little, like trying, and they're like the caveman guy. He's like, kill you for looking, What are you looking at? My little guy goes, whatever I want. And get you, get you for looking. Meanwhile, it's like the guy, you see, the thing was, that's like I kind of got into bodybuilding because of that, because I said, well, I'm so small, like if I could get big, like you see, it's amazing shape. You think, oh, 200 pounds is not big, but let me tell you something. At 5'9", if you are absolute solid muscle at 200 pounds, it's 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 not bad. I mean, it's and the thing is too, even if you don't know how to fight, if you're like strong, most people they're just intimidated by size. They're just gonna be like the natural. It's like I saw that 600-pound guy. Like he's barely alive walking, but he's 600 pounds. So he's walking. He takes up the whole sidewalk. I mean, your natural in your mind is like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Like if that guy just you think like that's all he has to do is put his body weight, like he doesn't even have to like really even grab you, just kind of go over you, and you're just like it was like, I mean, I can imagine he was so big that like this he would block out the sun. I mean, he was huge, and I'm sitting there going, God, Thank God this woman that he's protecting is not like a 10, is not like a beyond explorer. I would have been dead. There would be a there'd be 160 pound. I mean, if this guy get 1 foot on me, the Warrior Junior would have been like it would have been over. But maybe not, because I think about like how hard I was really. I would get in there and I would be just punching. I mean, I learned about it's amazing. One good shot to the solar plexus, like really in there, and that I don't care if it's 6,000 pounds. You take the wind out of something like that, he's going down. Hopefully, he doesn't come down on you. That'd be great. There's a lot of good stuff here. Can you imagine, like the guy, like the woman is like so, and I'm like this. I'm like, like this. I could do a look of like, like in my mind. I think that there's no way when I see those women that I really, really like, I don't go like this. because because if you do that, I know, like in my mind, I'm thinking that, but I do not show that. You're gonna scare the shit out of me. You're gonna think it was this clown. They're not gonna. I mean, it's you. There is like normal kind of protocol. Like my approach is like when I go in there in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, like I go in there, but the reality is, I don't show that. I don't. I show, the tenacious try. But can you imagine, like, if that girl would have been, or those two girls, they got into some orange Rolls Royce, like that new one. You guys probably know. It's like, it looks like a Jeep or something, but it's a Rolls Royce. And the thing was, I could just imagine. I could imagine, like, I say I try to joke about, like, the gods would be laughing. Like when something really funny like happens, I say the gods are. I think about like the Mount Olympus. They're all laughing, or the community, the elders. They're it was a Clash of the Titans. That movie where Zeus, he takes they have the not Coliseum, but the arena, and he takes like the Perseus. I think everybody's got like the statue. Like, and the gods put it to work. It's kind of a cool thinking about that. Maybe like the gods control. Like they whatever. But I think about, like, when I do something kind of funny, like they're getting a good laugh. They're like, wow, look at this fucking little nothing. He's trying to like challenge. He's got balls, but he's gonna get himself killed. Like, and I think about that, and it's like, it'd be kind of cool, like that when you die, that's like the thing. Like you're brought in front of like these people or whoever, and they judge you, and they said, wow, you're allowed in. You really did. You really stepped up. And then the people that didn't, they got to go back, to the purgatory, the hell of earth or whatever. I mean, I want no, I really, I try not to say like life here is purgatory, but come on, it's like beautiful weather and everything. But I just feel like maybe the ultimate test, the ultimate question of life is the test of your character, of like changing, like that whatever it was about you, whatever thing that was to overcome anything that was bad, and to persevere. And then that's ideal, of course. It's never that way. My dad died at 38. He did a lot in his life, but I know that he didn't want to die. He was a great guy. Oh, okay. So what I was talking about was the that happened if that girl would have been. I know I talked about that already. And what if that 600-pound guy, like, he's a security or something, and like he's just like, he saw me trying to approach it, but he was maybe like 10, 15 feet away. He didn't, and I'm trying to talk to her, and he's like, no, like the giant hand, comes out, like to get me, or something. And I'm like in there, and this guy's like blocking out the thing, and I said, all right, okay, he's not gonna be reasonable. He's going to grab me, like he's coming to get me, to pick me up and move me out. So I guess, like, I know I'm playing this down in a fantasy. I would hate for this to happen, but imagine, like, I've been practicing so much on that fucking bag, blah 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 blah, like slapping, chopping everything, and this guy's just, and I just fucking nail him, like got a couple good shots in there in his stomach, like as he's going to grab me, he's like, "Ooh, this guy can fight! Oh shit!" It's like, and it's too late, like, and I fucking just bam, I fucking nail him in the solar plexus, and I'm like, I got him, and he's like, "Ooh," and he fucking comes down on me. It's like, oh my god, 600 pounds, like, you beat him, but you lose, and just laughing because I could see it happening, like I can see it happening, like, but the whole idea would be this, like, okay, if you hit him, the whole idea, and he's coming down on you, get the fuck out of there, like you die with him, Oh fuck, like I just think about, like, the movies. I think they're okay. I remember it's funny because I talk about Clash of the Titans, and I there's a scene where no, it wasn't Clash of the Titans but it was a similar Roman. It was the Time Bandits. The Time Bandits. There's a scene with Sean Connery. Uh, People that only know him from before and after. They know him from James Bond, and they know him after The Rock. He did The Rock, But there was a movie. There was a movie, like, he did in the '80s. It was called Time Bandits with the midgets and stuff. And it's like there was a scene where in these midgets they go through time. The map, bringing me back. There's a map. God, had this map, the universe, and these little midgets stole it. Steal the map from God. Who comes up with this? Like, how? He's a supreme being, he's got the map of the universe, and these midgets steal it, and it's like made out of this nice fabric, and it's got, like, they go, basically, they're jumping through these portals, like these rectangular, they're going through time. They're time bandits. And what they do is they go from time to time, and they steal shit. It's like really funny. It was like done in the '80s, and it's hilarious because I don't really care for British or English movies or humor, but I think this was one of them, and it was excellent. It was excellent. But okay, so what happens is they're going through time. They're going through. It's amazing. They go through, like, Robin Hood, and then Napoleon. Like they steal, like, all this shit, and then they go through, they jump through a portal, and they wind up, like, in the Roman times. And now there's a kid that's, like, forgot his name, but the kid is really important because he's like the lead, and he's a regular sized kid, and these midgets, they pull the kid through with them, and so this kid is like, you know he's on he's on the roll. He's going around through time with these time bandits, and these he's like, what are you doing? Like, he's a kid. He's like 13, 14 years old, and he goes, and this kid is like, well, I need heroes. And the one guy goes, heroes, heroes. What do you mean? You don't need no heroes. Like, it's funny. Like, the midgets, they're trying to teach him, but they're thieves. So the kid's not getting, he's not going for it, but he's taking pictures, like, through the thing. Now they go back to, like, this Roman time, I think, or Greek time, and there's, like, this guy, this fucking warrior guy, and he's fighting this minotaur. I think it was a minotaur. It was a fucking dude. It was a human being, right? But he had, like, this helmet on that was like a bull on it. And the Sean Connery guy is the warrior, and so they jump through the time, and the kid's there, and the kid is watching the fucking Sean Connery, like he beats the fucking Minotaur. I forget what it was. Like he takes a fucking club or something and he slams the Minotaur, and or no, or he shoots him with an arrow. I forgot, but he kills him. And what happened was this guy is so big that like, and Sean Connery was like right there. Oh, okay, I remember now. He had like a sword or something. And what happened was the Minotaur came at him, and you'll see I'm relating this to the 600-pound guy. So the Minotaur, they came at him, and the shotgun, he put the sword up, so he killed the Minotaur guy, but Minotaur's body weight came on him, you know. Now he was able to, Sean Connery character got the fucking Minotaur off of him, guy, and then took the kid back to the palace, you know, and was trying to mentor him and everything till the fucking midgets took the kid away. You know, but Sean Connery was in it. So I was relating the, God forbid, you know, like I fucking had to fight that 600-pound guy and I won, and then the fucking guy comes on me, you know, Jesus. I mean, it's your mind, I'll tell you, it's an amazing, what you'll think of sometimes. You know, I listen to a lot of these guys, you know, the fight science and stuff like that, and they say, well, it's very good, you know, to understand things are all random, and it's really important. It's really important because as in like self-defense, you know, and also in the pickup. So what I mean by everything random is like, look, okay, God forbid I get into like a fight with a couple guys, and it's like, okay, well, what do I do? What do they have? What do I do? Well, you know, like, am I gonna try to grab the guy by the shirt, pull him in, and knee him, and then like try to do a side kick to another guy? You know, all these things. Look, what I said, it's like if you go back to my thing, I'm talking about dancing. If you just know how to do disco, you're gonna be really good when those disco songs come on, but you're not a real dancer. Like a real dancer is somebody that can like move to like just about any kind of music. Even though I don't do ballet, but I do like all these other. It doesn't matter. You could put on like stuff from like the Fred Astaire kind of music. You could put on the Michael Jackson. It doesn't matter. I dance to rock and roll. It doesn't matter. Like just my point is my body. I know how to move my body because I've been doing it for so long. And so with the martial arts, it's not good to limit yourself by just that one style. It's too red, you know. It's just, you know, the Bushwhackers. Remember, like I don't know if you guys are in the '80s. There was a tag team, Luke. That's Dukes of Hazzard. But there was a, you know, the Bushwhackers. You know, they were wrestlers and they would lick, you know, the heads of people. It's kind of cool. You know, they were well liked. I don't think they ever won any tag team titles or stuff, but they'd walk out to the ring like this. I don't know if they were from like New Zealand or Australia or something. Um, but in Shotokan, that move, that block, you know, like pull block kind of thing, like this, they'll actually block to the sides also. Somebody, but you know, I just don't like that regimented. You know, no, you know, like I like that Wing Chun thing too. It seems like more flowing. You're flowing, bam. You know, somebody comes out, boom. You know, deflected or anything. I just don't like this etched in stone kind of thing. You know, and the punching and the Shotokan is like twist the hand, like you know, your twist, you know, in the hips, boom, boom. You know, I practice that a little bit, but I don't like, you know, etching just that one little thing. I think implement, like just be a fucking arsenal, like what's it called, like a tool shed. You know, you've got all this fucking shit in that shed. You know, it's not just I just don't have one circular saw in there. I got a fucking bandsaw. I got a fucking chisel thing. I got, you know, for the garden. You know, I need to get whatever. I got to chop down that tree. I don't have to depend on one little thing. Like I've got all this fucking things, and that's the thing that I'm thinking about when it comes to defending yourself. It's like if God forbid, you know, whatever, some guy comes out, what'd you say? I'm gonna fucking grab you. And the second a fucking guy grabs me, he's like, the next thing you know, he's in the fuck. There's an ambulance coming. He's in the hospital, and he's sitting there in the hospital. He's going, what happened? And he goes, you got your ass kicked by this little Jewish guy because you tried to like put your hand on him. You know, like and the guy is like, well, where's the and she's well, the guy winds up losing the girl. It gets nothing. Ideally, I'd want her to come with me, but I guess I know it's a fantasy, like not a fantasy, but in like uh, the reality of things. I mean, I just would, I don't think much would give it would give me more pleasure than teaching somebody a lesson that like they would be surprised, like they really think like they're gonna fucking, like throw you out into the street like they've done to somebody else, and meanwhile you put them in the hospital. Like, I mean, that's just, I mean, I know it's not nice to hurt people, but if somebody else is gonna hurt you, better them than me. Like it's better, like to I mean, I just can imagine. What was that movie? It was called The Dragon, the Hidden Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. I forget the guy who played him, but there's a he's like Bruce Lee. He's from Seattle. He's from Seattle, and he's like in the movie. There's a scene where he's just working out in the college gym or something. He's just doing his thing, minding his own business. Not, but he's already a fucking like trained master. Like you can't. It would be like putting your hand in the. I mean, the dumbest thing you could possibly do in life. It would like be putting your hand into those wood, a fucking. I mean, I don't even want to say it because it's like it would, just like a wood shredder or something. Like you're gonna, it's gonna cut you into a million pieces. So these guys, these college kids that go, they, the one guy, like, he's just, he sees, he's got something against like Asian people or something. I don't know what his fucking thing. And he goes, my dad was numb, like he's a fucking, his dad was an idiot, like, and the son got the 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 uneducation apparently from the father, to be a bigger idiot, and he goes, you people from that country, and he's like, he didn't even, he's just sitting there listening to this, like Bruce Lee, he's American, born in Seattle, he's of Asian descent, but this guy, like, these guys, they just had it out for these guys, they like just wanted to fucking beat him up because of that, and what happened was this guy, like, he went in there and put his hand in the circular saw, and it was like, oh my god, it was like it's the greatest thing I ever seen. I mean, what Bruce Lee did to these guys, I mean, it was like, and it's so, you would think like, it's so stupid. There's always that Batman. I have to laugh because it's so stupid. I mean, it's like when you Batman in the '60s, like these guys, the goons, who walks into a fucking who if you saw like a fucking a giant boulder coming right at you, would you walk? Yes, I'm gonna go right in it. I'm gonna show that boulder. It's like Indiana Jones. You get the fuck out of there. That boulder is gonna kill you. I mean, it's like, if you saw like a giant circular saw, whatever, like eating up everything, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna fucking get cut into a million pieces. You're not gonna live to tell about it. It's the dumbest. Like in Batman, the goons keep coming. Like, and it's funny because like I'm laughing because it's the stupidest thing in life. It's like, it would never, ever, ever, ever happen where like, let's say whoever the main guy is like just beating the shit out of whoever's coming, and the goons keep coming. Like I'm gonna I'm gonna try because I'm so stupid that like just because they couldn't make it, they're all getting their ass kicked. And I'm gonna come in, me. You're gonna wind up like them, or worse. You're gonna wind up like them, or worse. You're gonna get your ass handed to you. So what happened was in the Bruce Lee in the movie, that scene, that guy, he started up with Bruce Lee for no reason, and Bruce Lee, like, it was like, I'm not, I'm sorry, like, he was just working out on the thing, and these guys say, you fucking Chinaman, and he's like, of course, did he get mad? No, because he had a strong fucking frame. He's a very smart fucking dude. He could have, the second they called him a derogatory name, he could have beat the shit out of those guys. But he just stood there and let those guys waste their energy and get all mad and everything. And then when they got all riled up, they wouldn't even need to be drunk because they're riling themselves up. They go, I'm gonna get this. These guys are like, I'm gonna get this little guy, and we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. And what they all do, and it's so stupid because, like, just like in the Batman, the thing, the goons keep coming. Like, in reality, what would happen? I mean, it would be like if somebody has that kind of power. I mean, there's no fucking way. I mean, the first guy that went in there, and this guy just gets a hand on you, and just those other guys are gonna be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not gonna let that happen to me. They're not gonna turn around. They're gonna run. Okay, they're going to fucking run because they see that in the movies they keep going. Like, in the movies they go after the stupid, because that's a stupid. That's the bullshit of entertainment, is they show you what's not real. It's and and there's so many movies. The fight lasts forever. Like, these guys are just taking, wow, like, fucking, holy shit, he's coming back, bam, whoa, he's down, but he's not out. Dude, a real fight. Maybe, I don't know, a tournament or something, like, where it's by points and stuff. I've watched a little of the judo. It's like full, wrestling. It's a real contest. There's rules. In a street fight, it's over like before you. This is not going rounds. There's no way. These guys, you're not a professional fighter. I mean, they're not wasting their time. Going to stand out there. They don't have the. There's no fucking way. They're going to get knocked the fuck out. I mean, one good shot, on somebody, you're going to take them down. If not, you're going to incapacitate them. One solid shot, where or it's going to be over very, very quickly. No one's going to take a hellacious beating. I have, though. I haven't even talked about this. I've taken a hellacious beating twice in my life. I'm going to talk about that one time. We're gonna because, in a way, it kind of like gives me confidence, because I had the Jesus, I was asking for it too, and it wasn't because of pickup at all. I was drunk, and I thought I was going to make a stand. I wore glasses at the time, and this guy, like, he got off at, like, I don't know if it was a motorcycle or something, or his car, but I came back and I went like, "Come on!" like, loud, and this guy came out there, and it was like, it was bad. It was bad. I could have filed a lawsuit or something. I just, at that time I was young. I didn't know. I was, thank God, then the cops came. You look like you need stitches, and I was like, wound up being in bed for 3 days, but I was okay. I guess I'm okay. But it was, wow. I remember vividly. Yeah. So my point is that once they get in there, wow, wow, bam, bam. I mean, it just keeps coming, and then you can't come back. It was bad. It was, wow. So I do learn from experience, but I don't drink anymore. So, that number one, that gives me, you know it really is. It's amazing that, when you're sober, you're clear headed. So these guys, I mean, they were young, those dudes that even though they didn't throw down, because I think, like, what I like to call it is they were bluffing. They were They were bluffing. They didn't have any. They didn't have the cards. No way, no way. I think that they would have tried to get one, try to nail me if that was the case. But no, they just. I mean, talk. Literally, they say talk is cheap. Um, Here is free, but no. Yeah, no. But what I mean by talk, I mean shit talking, loud, raising your voice, trying to use intimidation tactics. But think about that. Like a real fighter would never do that. That's where the relationship is. When I talk about that Bruce Lee movie, that he's not wasting his energy, not getting mad, not wasting his energy. He's waiting for them. He's waiting because these guys they're getting mad. They're talking expends energy. Anything burns calories, expends energy. All that getting riled up. It doesn't make. It's not going to make you better. Um, you know, I mean, I guess like okay, if you're like a trained fighter, okay, you're warmed up and everything, but I don't care if somebody is just getting more angry and more angry, and they don't have any skills. What's that going to help them? I mean, they're just going to get mad and just try to like come around or try to, and the second somebody does that, somebody that knows what they're doing is just going to fucking bam, 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 or it's just fucking whatever it is, and that guy who's mad is going to be on the ground, in a lot of pain, depending on how much pain that you want to inflict on somebody. In my case, I think I would just like to give them the pepper spray, the free, the free squirt in the face. Um, I don't know if the actual fighting is actually necessary in that case. Part of me would want to, you know, because I feel like, you know, you have to teach people a lesson. But in a way, I guess if somebody's coming at you like that and you spray them, they got their free lesson right there. So it's something I think about. I think about and I say to myself, okay, well, but again, this is not all of these things that I'm talking about, like that I'm mentioning, about fighting is something that stays. There was a guy up the block from me, and he had security guy. I don't know, he had like the stun gun, and he had like all this kind of shit on there. This old guy, he couldn't. I mean, if there's somebody, I what happened was a couple of years back, there was like these women. They were going into the condo. The security guy wasn't working there that late yet. It might have been 9, 10 o'clock, and they had these women. They were like in their 50s or whatever. Older women. They had these really nice purses, the Gucci purses and stuff. And these opportunists, these thugs. That's one of the best analogy that I'm going to say. I'm not going to use any other terms because it doesn't matter. They grabbed, and it's all on their video. They grabbed the women's purses and they ran off. One woman like wouldn't let go, and this guy was like pulling it wildly. He managed to get it away, and these guys they ran down the block and they bolted. I didn't see this, of course, but the security guy showed me on his phone and showed me the video thing. And I asked the security guy, I go, where were you? And he goes, I didn't start my shift yet. I was walking up and down the halls. And, he was a nice guy. But he couldn't. I mean, there's no fucking way, like, that he could catch those guys. He could barely walk. I mean, he's problems and everything. Now my point was he has like a utility belt. He's got like all this shit on there. He used to show me. He pulled out like a pliers, like a wrench or something. Like really, he had like the stun gun. He got like not. I don't think he had a real gun, but he had like this flashlight. He told me like this. He goes, Mike, what you do is you have this like a spare tire. He goes, I don't drive, so it's funny. He got like this bright ass fucking mag light that's like it's a great advice. He goes, if you're walking at night down the block and someone tries to do something, you point the fucking light right in their eyes, and they're not gonna be able to see. They're gonna be like, wow, that is fucking bright as hell. Um, this is just good advice. How to avoid things. You could have a couple things on you that would, give you some confidence, and that's why at night I walk around. I got that pouch with that pepper spray. I cannot believe I did not spray those guys. At the because I had one time, I had one experience where I was on the boulevard and this one thug, low life, that's good enough. He was coming at me like I could tell. No, this guy like whatever. He wasn't just asking for money. This guy was he needed to try to hurt somebody. I know, because I moved out of the way and he just was coming right at me like for whatever reason, and he was saying something with his voice, and it didn't matter. I was, he he needed some exercise. This guy was coming like whoever whoever that I was hoping like the cops would get there first. Like whoever. It's funny because like whenever you get in these altercations, you say, "What what happened?" Like a zoo or something. They open up the bars in the jail and the doors, and these guys run for it. What are they like? They're going, I'm free, I'm free. Like, and you're unfortunate. Whoever the first person is, when those guys get out of the zoo or the jail or wherever the fuck they let these people out of the mental institution. You would think, it's like God help whoever the poor person is, the first person they see, because like you would they're coming, they're like, I'm gonna get back to jail, but I'm gonna inflict. I want to have a story to tell. So whoever I see first, they're gonna get beat up. They're gonna get like their ass kicked or something. So it's like I keep thinking that's what happens to me. I'm just walking, minding my own business, and this guy is coming. Oh shit! They just let him out of jail, and I'm the first person. I'm the first person that he sees. Oh no! But I got my mace on me. I got my mace. So what happens is this guy, like now what happened was I this is when I just didn't know, like I didn't know he's coming at me and he's coming fast, you, that is Star Trek 5. God, the guy. This is one of the best. This is one of my best ones ever. I know it's supposed to be talking about meeting women, but now we're talking about Kirk fucking challenges God, basically goes, McCoy, what do you you don't ask the Almighty for his ID? Well, I want to know, like, what does God want with a starship? And he says, bring the ship closer so that I may join with it. He goes, excuse me, that was great, Kirk. Like he It's like meanwhile the guy wasn't God. I like they showed all the faces. I remember if you watch Star Trek 5, they get there. He's one voice, many faces. He's suckering. It's not the god of Shakari. Nimoy Spock goes. This is not the god of Shakari. This is not that. We don't know who this is. He's in eternity. I've been imprisoned in this place. Like it's a guy. Whoever it was, it was not the. It could be the devil. I don't know, but it was a very powerful entity that for some reason they put him there, and he wanted out. Like it's a great barrier. The barrier to keep that whatever it is that being to keep him there because he's too dangerous, like it is jail, like and ironically, you needed a starship to my wisdom will carry. Who knows? Your wisdom it'd be the fucking, the Antichrist. I don't know what it was, but they knew this is holy shit. This is not God. This is a troublemaker. We gotta he uses he used the to try to lure him in with the false beliefs, but it wasn't. It was a evil whatever, because he tried. Remember, he throws the fucking the the thing at Kirk, the fire at him or something. And he goes, why is God angry? And he says, why would God? McCoy goes, why would God inflict? This is not a God like it would inflict pain for his own. You doubt me, there and the Cybok, Cybok is the best. He's Spock's half brother, and he goes, Cybok goes, I feel your pain. He goes, my pain? He goes, yes, everybody has a pain, a special pain that they don't want to share with anybody. He goes, and release your pain to me, like the whole thing. And I know I went off on a tangent. I even forgot where I was going even before, but I was just thinking about how, it's, imagine, like if I guys that want to kick my ass and I go up to them and he says, I could use logic on them. I could try before they kill me, like try to beat me up, and they go, I could go. Every man has a pain, and the guy's angry. It's like he has to think what you're saying. Like he has to, he's like, what? Wait a second. I want to beat the hell out of this guy. And you're saying something. He doesn't know how to interpret this. He's gonna be stunned for a second. So he goes, I'm gonna fucking get you, man. He goes, every man has a pain, and you could be like, huh? And the second, the second he says that, he's thinking you can fucking just clock him. Every man has a pain now. You got you fucking pounded that. That was your you caught him. You stunned him mentally, and then you fucking clock him. As hard as you can. So it's like that's good. There's ways. Every guy's got a pain. That's right. But you didn't see it. You literally didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming. You use you use logic. You use logic to kick somebody's ass. I mean, that's great. I mean, it's classic. I am really running with the ball here tonight. I mean, this is funny. God, this is good. This is staying on. Oh boy. All right. Well, I think that's about enough for now. That's, I told you a lot of these movies. I mean, they equate to reality. There's something in everything. But if we go full circle and we go back to where we came from, it is important. I realize we are not in Roman times. Roman meal. It's like a bread or something. It's pretty good actually. Um, the we the gladiator mentality, the warrior mentality. I know in the movies, what was that one? Russell Crowe. The gay, the gay, I don't know, Colin Farrell, the Joaquin Phoenix. I'm sorry, I apologize. Joaquin Phoenix. He's good. Where the gladiator, like he puts on this incredible killing lions, Maximus. Maximus. And the guy, the emperor, the son, the traitor that killed the Marcus Aurelius. Rise, rise, rise. Because you did well. You fought well. Because you will remove your helmet and tell me your name. And the gladiators, he goes, you will remove your helmet and tell me your name, slave. I am. My name is Warrior. No, I'm sorry. He goes, my name is Maximus. Of whatever. I forgot where he's from. Of Maximus of so and so. Served under the worship of Marcus Aurelius. You know, and then he turns around. He goes like this. Pull my pants up. I don't want you to see. He goes, and the Roman, the guy, he goes, "How dare you show your back to me?" It's just funny. I mean, it's hilarious, and everybody loved the whole. So then the crowd starts chanting. Like back then, it's like you're living or dying, and it's like, so they go, the whole crowd, live, 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 and then the emperor, the Roman, the live, live, all the people live, live. His cat, like he hated that guy, but it's like, and then so it starts like this, right? And it goes either one or two ways, So the whole crowd living, it goes like this, you know. I know I'm laughing so hard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it's like it's funny, like the drama, the nonsense, the no, I think about this in my mind when I go, when I go, when I go to these fucking places, I'm the gladiator, and I'm thinking about this. Hold on, I'm gonna show you what I'm thinking, like. You know, I'm thinking in my mind, like I'm like, I'm like the fighter, I'm the man, like I'm the guy, like I'm fucking, I'm hitting the fucking, get that lion, fucking stab that fucker, you know, punch that fucking warrior, whoever fucking's in my way, kill, he goes, kill, fucking, bah, and then, so I'm thinking, I'm thinking about this because, like I'm standing outside laughing. I know it's so funny, but it's real. I'm standing outside the nightclub, like nightclub, I'm standing toilet, toilet, whatever, I've got like, I'm like in my mind, I'm like, like who's next? who's, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Bill Goldberg, and Jewish, ironically, Jewish. He goes, "Who's next?" Like he kill everybody. That guy, fucking Bill Goldberg. Like you can't beat him. He's a fucking ultimate warrior. But he's modern day. He's like, you're next. Whoever it is, he's gonna fucking kick your ass. Because you can't beat him. He's ironically, I did meet Bill Goldberg at WrestleMania 20. He came by. I was working out. I was like, God, who's this Bill Goldberg? He's fighting Brock Lesnar. I said, I know how big Brock Lesnar is because I saw him in 2002. Even when I was working out, I said, this guy is like a fucking, it's a fucking tank. I mean, he'll run over you. You. You know what? Let me tell you something. I don't care. Okay, I'm talking about being like a warrior and stuff. There are some exceptions because there's instant death. There's like, guarantee instant death. If somebody like Brock Lesnar or something, and I don't care, all right, so I'll make an exception. I'll make an exception. If you see somebody like a Bill Goldberg, or Brock Lesnar that you don't hit on their girl because then unless it's your last day on Earth, then it will be your last day on Earth because it was like a fucking Sherman tank that was coming at me. I there's a you're talking about there's a handful of dudes like that out there that they're just their structure and their power is so great that you're not gonna live. I mean, you're me. I don't care like how much training and this mental thing in your mind. Somebody like that, you're asking for death. Like they're gonna kill you. They're that's there's just no way around it. You're gonna wind up in their boneyard. And so you know again, these are very rare exceptions, and thank God. I think who he's married to is not even my type anyway. It's not. So somebody upstairs, they have mercy on me. They're looking. They're saying, all right, like we're not going to. Um, You're not going to go out that way. But think about this. Like those guys. No. Great foundation, their body. For football. Why is my camera? Okay, I was slowing down for a second. But they have just their structure, and then it's molded to like perfection through power and strength. I mean, you add that up, and you're gonna die. I mean, they're gonna kill you if you try to. So what you do is you just go, no, all right, no, okay, you win. Like I mean, that's the exception. So I forget where I was going with this, but okay. So I'm standing like in my mind, but most people are not that. They're not, the next big thing. They're not somebody like that. I mean, they're making money. They're doing something. They're not fighting profession. They're not, they're forget. I don't even want to talk about. We'll talk about him. These guys some other time because they're just incredible. Can't learn, anyway. So in my mind, right? So back to the club. So like in my mind, I'm like, I don't go there with this. I don't go there with anything except my mace. It's in my little pouch for emergency purposes, which so far I cannot believe I have not used. But what happens? What happens is in my mind, like I'm this, I'm Maximus, like I'm glad I'm warrior in my mind, so I'm going and I'm standing there, like, and when I see the one I really like in my mind, I'm like, okay, warrior fight, like, rah, but not, I don't raise my hands, like, I don't, but I say to myself, all right, like, whatever the situation, kill, like not, what I mean, not kill it, but uh, kill in your mind, kill the fear, kill the guy that's saying you don't do it, don't do it, like you're gonna get, so I'm go, I'm go, and like you don't know what's gonna happen. I think what you can do is you can take what I thought about is like a range, like let's say the range is like this, and on the far end of the range, on the farthest point, is going to be the guy that I said is so confident that, hey, take my wife, please, and he's even joking about it, take my girlfriend, go if you can get it, go ahead, like and then you'll have so now we're at the that's okay, so whatever range you call it 0 to 100, so you could say like 0 to 10 is that docile kind of guy, or just that jokingly even. He's joking, he's a, hey, take her, yeah. And then maybe 10 to 20 is maybe more of like a docile kind of guy where he's not really joking about it, but he's like, yeah, I don't even know what to say. He's just like kind of surprised, but he's not going to threaten you. And then when you move like further forward, then it becomes like, yeah, hey, can't you see she's with me kind of thing? That's maybe toward the midpoint range of altercation. So out of 100, that's like closer to like the 40 to 60 ish. We're in the 40-60 range to where guys like, hey, come on, she's with me, man, right? Now, when you start moving up now to where the heat starts cranking it up, now we start talking toward like the 75. When we start getting to 75, hey man, what's your problem? Like what are you doing? Like the guy doesn't understand completely, and now he's coming off like, what are you fucking doing, man? Negative. Now we're starting to get to like he's just maybe he knows, but he's throwing out his defense mechanism. You don't know. You don't see that's the thing. I mean, you would think any guy with a good looking girl, the girl's used to getting hit on. So he's prepared for that. But guys might throw off the negative, like the negative thing. That's around 75. Let's start going up. When we start getting into the 80s now the guy is like, okay, dude, you better like get out of here kind of thing. Like kind of now you're starting to get the more hostile, real kind of like the threatening kind of thing, like getting close now. Like, what's your fucking problem, man? Come on, she's with me. Uh, get out of here. Like, what's your fucking problem? It really starts. Let's get through this because it becomes very uncomfortable for me. When you get into the 90s, the low 90s, let's say 90, you say, dude, I don't know what your fucking problem is, but I'm gonna fucking like, you better get the fuck out of here. Are you fucking crazy? You're a fucking idiot. Now the guy's antagonizing you and like trying to like doesn't, he probably is so shocked that your attempt of trying that he's, just blown a gasket. Like his responses like caveman. Remember I said, and he's gonna try to nail you, like verbally now. And then the hardest at the end, the closest to 100, I would say like when you get to 100 would be, I mean, let's wait, 90, when you get to like 95 to 97, the guy is like either he's gonna try to put his hand on you, grab, pull. Probably not gonna. I'm saving that for the very end. That's it. But now he's gonna get the fuck out of here, you idiot. Like he's really it's borderline violence, and then at the end of the end, it's like it's fighting is the clock. That's maximum. I mean, that's like really the 95 till 100 is where it's like some dude is so threatening. He's like he's I'm gonna fucking teach you a fucking lesson, man, for talking to my girl. I'm gonna fucking put you in, wow. I mean, can you imagine, like it probably doesn't happen. It's so rare that like you would think that, but maybe just he has to show like I can beat up there. Can you imagine how many guys, if they all lined up, how many guys would like to talk to this girl, and the one guy that steps up has got the courage, gets his ass kicked. That's why I gave up dancing. That's why I got into fighting, because I'm not going to be like a brave moron. Like I'm doing it for confidence, and I'm doing it. God forbid a hundred, like a hundred happens. It could happen. Now my friend says you could get stabbed, you could get shot. The buffalo could fall out of the sky too. I mean, I don't know. Like people got fucking. They watch the news and incredible things happen. I mean, they believe whatever. Um, but again, if you go through life, if you go through life with this ideal, this mentality that you're waiting for some perfect movie type situation, and you're not taking any action, you're nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. And most people, they're paralyzed by that fear of anything that's going to stop you from really becoming. I forget. I'm trying to remember who said, but he says when you're fearless, when you don't have fear, you become limitless. And people equate to that stupid, I know movies. I'm not going to talk about the stupid, the Matrix. You take the red pill, you could go back to take the green pill. You must choose. Like there is no pill, man. There is no pill to see things and become brave and stuff or whatever. There's only you educating yourself every day and becoming a better person than you once were. I mean, I'm not condoning fighting at all, but I practice it every day, just in case. Keeps my confidence strong, keeps me in shape, and God forbid, you know, an awful situation happens where my life could be compromised, I might survive it. More than if you know how to defend yourself, the odds are you're going to come out of it. Um, you're going to get, like, I don't know what's, Amazon, there's a lot of weeds, the weeds in the way. I call them asteroids, too, the dudes that, you know, um, those heavy weeds there, and man, and I in an try saying that fast. In an ideal world where like everybody would help everybody get whatever they want, it would be nice, that guys would help other guys, like for me, it's like getting those kind of women I like. It would be nice if somebody that had a surplus, and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to help this guy. Like I wish it worked that way, but it doesn't. I think it was like Elvis or I don't know any famous artist when they go to a recording studio. Like let's stick with a male whoever it's really popular. There's like a million women that are waiting out there for him. Not a million, you know what I'm saying? A lot. They want to be around status, that allure of fame. In the end, it's just a guy like me. It's nobody special. But because the media makes this person, and he has a following, and it's promoted like properly, then they become like this goddish like figure. I don't know if the pharaohs were like that. I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe that's a bad word. I don't know. But I just like whatever people would idolize. Back then. That's what those to those followers are. Now, why do I say this? What point am I trying to make? The point I'm trying to make is that all those beautiful women that are waiting to meet like Justin Bieber or somebody like that, they're not available for me. They're all going to him. They're focused on all eyes on him. It just takes it off the market. Like those women are not available. I can't not say I'm saying at that time when if he's recording and they're all waiting at that studio, to meet him, they're not available for me because of his power and his status. And that's the way kind of society unfortunately functions nowadays. It's not fair. It's not balanced to where it's like, he would go like he said, well, wow, the Warrior Junior here, wow, let me help him. Let me see if I can get the one he likes since I have so many at my disposal. So was it Xerxes was in 300. He goes, you will have all the riches you will have of Persia that has to offer. All I ask is that you kneel. He told that to the hinchbeak, the hunchback, forgot the guy's name, the poor guy, like he wanted to fight I would fight for Sparta. I have. Maximus goes, Maximus goes, hunchback, you lift your shield. Eh, eh. You you can't fight with us because you see, hunchback, I lift you bring us water. The thing was that he wanted to he wanted the hunchback wanted he was from Spartan, not Spartan pride, his family, but he was a cripple, like he couldn't do it. And he like basically what sucks is that the I got offered the water boy job. I mean it's kind of like that is something. I mean, like you're still part of the team. Like you're bringing the water to the warriors. Like you're doing it, but that poor hunchback, he couldn't because he couldn't. He says, remember what Maximus says? He goes, the the link, the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. If you can't get that shield up, they're gonna find that weakness, and those fucking that Persian Persian Empire, they got millions of, they remember they had like magicians, they were like, and the elephants, and they came with their magic. Remember, they did all this kind of shit. They fucking they did a lot, they really, but the whole thing was that 300 guys, they were the fucking, they were killers. I mean, you couldn't. It's like they set up that wall of you're not getting past this point, and I don't care how many their numbers. What was the guy? The announcer goes, their numbers count for nothing. I mean, it really. I mean, it's like, again, I know I use that Bruce Lee thing with that circular saw. It'd be like putting your hand in there. I mean, it's gonna get cut off. You're not gonna. You can't. Like it's that's what those 300 guys were. They were fucking 300. They're. Well, remember where the guy goes. One guy, he goes, "Oh, I'm a carpenter. Oh, what do you do?" He goes, "Oh, I'm a chess player. Oh, I'm a." And he goes, Maximus goes, "Warriors, what do you do?" They're fucking the 300. They'll fucking kill you. I mean, they won't even think twice. If you watch a 300, I mean, they beat that. They would have killed it didn't matter. They set up that barrier, that Persian Empire, they could not get through. There's no fucking way. I mean, there's one way in, and no matter how many of those fucking guys they sent the elephants, they all went off the cliff. They everything. They would have lost the whole. In the end, they would have lost the whole army if it wasn't for the fucking traitor, the hunchback. He showed them, he showed them where to go. Like he fucking sold out to Xerxes, because of Xerxes, the king, the Persian emperor, whatever. He goes, you will have all. You will have all the riches of my kingdom. All I ask is that you kneel. So he fucking, yes, yes, I will do. Yes, like he fucking he betrayed. He fucking, well, he betrayed by he sold out. He cashed in his shit because he, in his mind, I guess he goes like, well, what the Hitchback goes, I'm Spartan, but they won't take me. But they did offer him a water boy job. They offered the water, bring water, but he said no, I want to fight. So the Xerxes, you know he said, hey, like, he goes, I am a gentle god, I am a reasonable man. All I ask is that you kneel, and it's not really big, I guess, like, what was that in Star Trek, in Superman 2, there was a scene at the end where, the whole thing is that the three criminals from Krypton. There's the girl, there's, I forget, the General Zod, everybody knows, and the Ukrainian, the guy who, he doesn't say nothing, but that General Zod is like he's the leader of the trio, and they go to Earth, and what happens is Superman has to give up his powers to be able to become a human, to marry Lois Lane or something. That was he sacrificed his powers, but what happened, and he said, well, I don't need to be Superman. What do I need these powers for? There's not, these criminals are human. There's police. They don't need. But what happened was those three fucking, they came. They got out of that imprisoned, thing. They were sentenced. They were imprisoned. A meteor broke it open, so they're, I don't know why I'm curious, but the broke it, and they came to Earth, and they had the power like Superman. And they beat the shit out of Superman because he was a human. He couldn't do nothing. And then it was great I'm trying to think how I'm tying this into 300. Oh, okay, I know now. I remember. Okay, so what happened was, because everything is a reason. I'm not just talking about something for nothing. Everything has a point. You'll see how this relates to the Neil and the 300 in a second. So what happens at the end? Lex Luthor, they're in the Fortress of Solitude, and the Superman, has to. I'm trying to remember why those three, the Kryptonian criminals or whatever, why they needed for Superman to like, resign his power there or something. I think that's what it was. So he goes in the chamber. There's like this chamber, and he tells. I remember before he goes in, he tells Lex Luthor. He goes, "Look, let's try to get Zod in that chamber. Like that. Then, it'll take away his powers. And then snitches. The Luthor snitches on Superman right there, and he goes, "Don't go in there, General. If you go in there, then you'll lose your power." So the three that and Superman goes, "Oh, you fucking snake! You Luthor, you." So Superman goes in the chamber, but it actually works in reverse. What winds up happening? Superman gets his power back, and the three troublemakers, they meet their doom. But what happens when Superman comes out of the chamber? He like comes out like he's a defeated man, like he's you know it's over. And General Zod, I know the line fairly well. He goes, "And finally," Zod goes like this. He goes, "Kneel before Zod." And Superman just like gets down on his knees, and Zod goes, "Now take my hand and swear eternal allegiance to Zod." And Superman like he goes and he like takes his hand and he fucking like breaks it. I mean, I like just fucking crushes it, and the music goes perfect to John. Da, 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 and the Superman just fucking takes it and just like and you're and Zod is like like breaks his fucking hand like and he falls down there and I just when I was a kid and I saw that it was like just I mean it was like the coolest thing I ever seen like I'm thinking about that memory. So I guess that equates to the 300, like when the Hunchback, Xerxes goes and kneel. All I ask is for you. So I was thinking about the Superman thing, like when he kneels, when he gets down like that, and just fucking, I have a friend, my friend Ruben, like he has a very strong, like he would go and shake somebody's hand, and and just to show, like if somebody tried to like out squeeze him, he would like crank it up and like almost everybody would just say, "Okay, all right, I'm tapping out," like I'm okay, you let go, you win, you're too strong. I think there was one guy, uh, another guy that worked at Dublin's, yeah, Ruben or whatever. Uh, no, I forget the guy's name, but Ruben, they did a handshake thing one time, and the other guy was good too. It was like a draw. Like it was like wow, I never seen, anybody like there was amazing thing. So like, don't think like you're the only one that fucking practices, like something like there. See, that's the thing that it's really important to remember. Even you learn all this fighting and stuff like that. I remember my God rest Jeff. He passed away. He was a fighter too. But he said, don't let it consume you. Don't understand something. Anybody can be sucker. And I'm telling you, don't see it, and somebody just fucking clocks you. You could have I don't care how many, you know, belts or how much knowledge you think under your belt. If somebody hits you, doesn't see it, you don't see it, and you take a shot, it could kill you. Um, so don't let it go to your head. I mean, I said the only reason that I'm doing this is for my own confidence, and for the most part, just to avoid anything, is that because I think if you don't have, if you're just like blowing a which I wouldn't do anyway because my ego is not. Again, I told you I can't crack my frame, so it's except okay when I said the girl that said what are you looking at me whatever I want like that something or get out of here like tell me and I said no like that kind of does get something under me because you're trying to command me and I don't accept commands. I don't. I'm sorry. Like unless a police officer tells me something, and because if I'm not doing it, I'm violating the law. I do as they say, but I don't do as some schmuck is telling me because I'm trying to talk to a woman. Get out of here. Like who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to tell me where to go, what to do? and how to, you're not helping me. You're just trying to get me out of there. And that's not going to happen because it's my life. I am the star of my movie. You are not going to take that away from me while I'm still here. Now, you may try if you try to hurt me, but it's going to heal and I'm going to come back because I'm not going to let you stop me. I'm not giving up. You don't understand something because you're not helping me. I have to do it on my own. And if I have to do it on my own, that means I'm going to do it on my own. That means I'm not going to hesitate for 1 second. See, that's the thing is people don't understand it. Like they think like they don't understand what that warrior mentality. It's been like dissipated. It goes into fantasy, like the movies 300 and stuff, where they show like the guy, the Rome, the Maximus, this is a warrior. Them is like this, yeah, like that's what people when people think warrior, they're thinking like nonsense, like like yeah, that's what they think. They're thinking warrior. They're thinking it's a joke. It's entertainment for them. But then in real life, when a real warrior shows up, like a guy that's like gonna go after what he wants out of life, the people there they don't know what to do. They go, I've never seen anybody do this before. It's a shock, one way or the other. Like what happens is like when they see a real war. First, if I don't even tell them. I don't even tell them what I am because if I go ahead and tell you, it's gonna sound ridiculous. If I go up to a guy with a girl and I go, excuse me, sir, I'm a warrior, and they're gonna look at you, they're gonna go, were you in the army or something? Were you like, were you they're not gonna know. They have no idea of what you're talking about. I'm laughing because it's so true and it's so funny that they don't know what a modern day warrior is. They think like, like they're in their mind, they're thinking warrior. They're thinking, okay, a modern day warrior? Are you like Navy SEALs or something? Did you fight like in Iraq or something? What do you? And I go, no, you don't understand. You don't get this. What I am trying to do is I am fighting like for not physically, more mentally. I'm trying to go after the things that I want out of life that are being held from me. That's what a warrior does. And they're like they go, well, what do you do for a job? Do you work? Do you like, because the way that most people do this is that, if you want to meet somebody, you meet them at work, or you have friends, or you have a job, and what you do is you go online and you try to get a date with a picture, somebody that you think is good enough for you, and you take whatever you can get her. And I go, no, this is not how I do it. I don't have a job, so I'm not going to meet anybody at work because there is no job. There's no job. So how can I meet somebody if I'm not? There's no job. And so, well, what was the second one? Yeah, like, well, you. I forgot. It's something about making money or something. Well, but you're not getting this. I don't have status or anything, so that's out of the equation. There's nothing. So everything that you're trying to relate to me as quote unquote normal, well, go online. Go online. I says, I already did. I already tried. It doesn't work for me because like I'm a visual guy, and those pictures don't really show. The I like to see in person. Well, when you meet them in person, I go, I don't have to go meet them in person because I'm meeting them right now. I'm meeting them. I'm going after whatever ones that I see that I like. And the guy's like, well, it doesn't work that way. And I go, yes, it does work that way. It doesn't work that way. It says, yes, it does work that way. And he goes, It doesn't work that way because, and I don't care what you say because it works my way. There's no law. If you can tell me what law, according it says I can't do this, then I will agree with you that it works this way. But it doesn't work your way. It's your way. It's the way that you're programmed. It's the way society tells you to think and believe. Because there's no law that says I can't talk to any woman I'm attracted to. So it's your societal beliefs, these things, and you're trying to push your nonsense on me, but it doesn't work because I'm a warrior and you're not, So like they don't understand that, but they find out, and so what happens is once they find out when they see, you don't even have to tell them, when they see you doing this warrior thing, they're gonna do usually one of two things, one of a couple things. They're gonna go to zero, which is not really happens. Go ahead, yeah, she's not gonna go. The joking, they're gonna go to like to 30 or 40, like, well, what are you doing, man? Or the rare, they're going to go all the way up because, and that happens when they're just, either shocked or they're really prepared for a dude that's going to try to pick up. Like, I think it's a defense mechanism. I'm willing to bank that it's more of a defense because they're so shocked. It doesn't happen very often because there's not that many warriors out there in the terms of me, of what I do. There's plenty of pickup. I mean, there's a good of pickup artists are one thing. People that can fight are another thing. But and I guarantee there's guys that fight that are trying to pick up women too. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm not a fighter. I'm not trying to become a fighter to meet women. I'm using defense to protect myself. But I'm using a warrior mentality to go after what I want. And I think that's okay. I think there's no problem with that. So, anyway, it's been 2 hours and 16 minutes. This has been a really, really good one. Um, this is definitely, I covered a lot of things here. A lot of funny stuff, great analogies. This is definitely one of my funniest. It's the longest recording, but one of the funniest ones I've done in a long time. So, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Um, there's going to be a lot more. I'm going to continue with lots of different analogies, my experiences. I hope to be here. I hope somebody doesn't, cut this short. I unfortunately, I'm a little traumatized from those guys, what they did to me. They really, wow. You don't really have to punch somebody to hurt them. They didn't crack my frame really, but they did, you know, um, challenge, in a way, like, boy, it just shows you like that, what's out there, like it's, you're looking for the all possible situations, anything unknown. Okay, well, what, remember I talked about random, like those guys on fight time say, well, what do you do if somebody comes out? It's an automatic. I know how to deflect or whatever, box it out, and I wasn't prepared for those guys, coming at me like brazen like that. I didn't think that would happen. And it's funny because again, it wasn't a successful, it wasn't pickup at all. It was holding the ground. So now I know that, guys can challenge you, from holding your ground in your position. They can challenge you the other ways. So, I think like I heard about this thing about these alert status, like the yellow alert is like kind of always being aware. Red alert means like something's going down, like, and they say black when it goes to like all the way to, that means like it's full on battle. So, they say it's always good to stay in like yellow alert zone, just, to be kind of on your toes, ready. Because I was kind of like, even though I know I told you about Mace, I had it out, but still, it was very, it was surprising that yeah, the guys came out of left field. I saw them coming, and that's the thing. I had plenty of. That's the thing is that's why I did the Mace and thing and outstanding. But wow, I don't think I've ever seen anybody like march that far. Him, that guy, let's get him. I mean, because I couldn't hear, I didn't know what they were saying, but the girl told, I guarantee that girl told those guys, and whatever, when they went, what? I heard the what? I heard the what? You know, and then it was like, and the guy wasn't joking. He goes, what? You fucking, I mean, that guy got so mad over whatever she told him. Like, he says, go get that guy. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, if I was a real, those guys, I would have fucking, oh my God. The second those guys got in my striking distance, it would have been like something out of bat. It would have been I guarantee you though, the first guy that I would have hit, the other guys would have been, oh shit, no, all right, you're good. But you know, it's like that's not what I, you know, it's not real. You know what? Look, there's gonna be assholes everywhere you go. There's going to be guys that are going to be defensive looking, and then there's going to be those type of people too. They're out there. I know now. I've seen it. So the idea is just have that in your mind to know that, okay, well, you know, if I, you know, again, I know I said 3 times I was doing pickup, but you know, I was holding my ground. So you could get an altercation just by holding your ground. Um, but I was holding. I didn't yell at her, but I said, you know, sternly. I said, you know, and she said, "What are you looking at?" It was a negative way she said to me. She goes, "What are you looking at?" I go, "Whatever I want." You know, I didn't laugh. I go, "Whatever I want." You know, I said it very solidly, and it was like just, I guarantee she was not prepared for that answer. Like, holy shit, this guy's holding his ground. Uh, and I thought like the other people, they didn't stop right there. It was like later that they came back, and I was like, yeah, fuck, what did I? How do you deal with this situation? Now I know how to. With that, signing out. Warrior Junior out. Till next time, my friends. Stay strong.